Good afternoon, everybody. It's David Schlotthauer here with another detailed tropical weather outlook and discussion for Friday, August the 8th, 2025. In today's tropical weather update, we have an area of concern as we are tracking a very strong tropical wave that is going to be coming off of Africa in the next 12 to 24 hours. Most models do indicate that this could become a strong tropical storm, if not a hurricane in the southwestern Atlantic, or even perhaps across portions of the Gulf. So in today's tropical weather update, we will be breaking down all those details. Now, if you haven't been here before and you do find these tropical weather outlook and discussions very detailed, helpful, informative, and life-saving, please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit that bell notification icon as we will be going live on any tropical storm or hurricane if it threatens the United States within 24 to 48 hours. Also hit that like button and share this video with their family and friends on social media. We are less than 900 subscribers away from 50,000. So taking a look now at our latest GOES 19 true color visible satellite imagery provided by Dr. Levi Cowan at tropicaltidbits.com. There's a link in the description below this video where you can check these out for free. And what we have right now is a very strong tropical wave that is moving off of Africa as we speak. Of me recording this video, we have lots of deep showers and thunderstorm convection that is ongoing, and the GFS model is very enthused that this is going to become a very, very powerful tropical storm, if not a hurricane, out here in the southwestern Atlantic, impacting the Bahamas, maybe towards Florida. And there's even some outlier models that do indicate that this could even move into the far northeastern and eastern Gulf, where water temperatures now are in the upper 80s to lower 90s. So we really have to watch this one very, very closely. So now let's take a look now at our latest global computer models, because a lot of people watching this video are quite concerned, and I don't blame you with what we are looking at in today's forecast based on the GFS, the Euro, the artificial intelligence. We're going to also be looking at your environmental forecast, timing this out as great detail and honesty as we can possible. So first of all, looking at our GFS model, we're fast forwarding it all the way through the end of next week. This is over the next 7 days for Friday morning, August the 15th, 2025. There is our system that is approaching from the far right side image at 20 degrees north in latitude. The GFS has been really bullish on how this evolves over the main development region and indicates that this system could end up being a hurricane in about 180 hours. Now, I'm not putting a lot of fate into this because the GFS tends to be very convective biased. It tends to overdo a lot of the convection, a lot of the intensity here, but this is really worth looking into because over the last couple of model runs, it has had a strong system here, including the 0Z, which had the system arriving a little bit later. So it is worth noting in this video that GFS is really bullish on this forecast, and this would be for Friday afternoon. Now, the good thing about this is most, or if not all of the guidance has this to the north of the Lesser and Greater Antilles Islands, including for Puerto Rico, for the U.S. British Virgin Islands, Antigua, as well as Anguilla. I'm not too concerned about these islands just yet, but this is a very close call for these islands, but that doesn't mean that no one's going to get impacted by this. So putting this into motion, this is basically right around day 8 to day 8.5. As we go into day 9 here for Sunday morning, August the 17th, 2025, we have a strong hurricane here with winds of around 90 to 100 miles per hour. This is definitely a big storm. And look where it's going to go. On the GFS model, it shows it hitting parts of the southeastern Bahama Islands in about 10 days. Now, I want to be very clear and honest in this video, all right? Just because I show something 10 days out and shows a major hurricane here with winds of about 115 miles per hour does not mean this is actually going to be a major hurricane whatsoever, nor is it going to be a hurricane at all. What I'm showing you here is there is potential that this tropical wave coming off of Africa definitely has a high ceiling of potential here, especially once this gets into the southwestern Atlantic. In terms of thermodynamically speaking, it is very favorable. We have divergent flow aloft where the winds are spreading out, especially at about 38,000 feet. And this allows for a lot of convection and upward motion and uplift in the atmosphere. So this is what I'm really worried about as far as what the models are showing and what they've been showing over the last couple of days at keeping this in the forecast, this whole general area showing a potential strong tropical storm, if not a hurricane out there. But again, this is very uncertain. This is a 10-day forecast, all right? Now, do I rarely go further out than this? I know a lot of you are going to be looking at me like, dude, don't go beyond 10 days out. But we're going to stretch things because I am a little confident, and this is about as far as I'm going to go, all the way out to Tuesday morning. And again, shows that major hurricane passing just to the southeast of Florida here and right in between the strait, which is a very hypothetical forecast given that we do not have any model support in that general area hardly at all based on our ensembles. Now, let's take a look now at our European deterministic forecast because you know how conservative the European model has been. You know, it's not really loving when it comes to hurricanes or major hurricanes, but this is very alarming to say the least. So over the next 7 days, we have what appears here to be a tropical depression with winds of about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So even the European model is showing some development out there in the MDR in about, say, 6 to 7 days. As we go forward, though, into day 9, okay, this is for Sunday morning, we have a pretty formidable tropical storm here with winds of around 50 to 60 miles per hour. That is pretty dang strong on the Euro. And look, it gets even stronger than this. Look at all the way out to 10 days, we have a hurricane, winds of 82 miles per hour. That's a big deal. That really is from the Euro. And to make matters even more concerning, if we back it out here, look at the agreement. The Euro has it a little slower, okay, and more off the islands versus the GFS model a little faster and hitting most of these islands perhaps, okay? So the Euro slower and not as strong, but we have to take that into consideration that the Euro tends to be conservative when it comes to winds. We're looking at track here mainly on who could be impacted according to the Euro. And then because of the confidence here that is slightly increasing as we go forward in time, this does strengthen into a formidable category 2 hurricane perhaps, or in simple terms, this becoming a hurricane, it seems a little bit higher as it makes the turn here perhaps over the southwestern Atlantic and then moves up the eastern seaboard. But this is very far out, and I don't know I'm even showing it to you in the first place. So out to 10 days, we have a very high ceiling potential here on our tropical wave off of Africa. Now, looking at the artificial intelligence model, this is the AI model. I don't trust AI very much to my fullest abilities, but it has been very consistent on this system over the last 7 to 8 days, especially over the southwestern Atlantic. And the fact that now the GFS and the European model are now coming on board with this makes the AI model a little bit more reliable in today's update. So when we look at the forecast here over the course of 9 days, again, with what we've been talking about, the Euro, the GFS, and now the AI indicating a tropical depression, if not a tropical storm here. So there is definitely some agreement that we could have certain significant development here just to the north of the islands. And look at this, the AI model over the 10-day forecast does indicate a strong tropical storm. And then because of the confidence, this could end up becoming a powerful tropical storm, if not a low-grade hurricane here with winds of about 65 to 75 miles per hour. So that's 3 models. And just goes to show you, we back it up again, all right, and not only look at the 3 different models in comparison, but look at the 06Z APHIS model, the 0Z APHIS, there is a signal, still a strong signal here for development out here, especially between the 12Z from yesterday and the 12Z today. I mean, it is pretty much in the exact same spot. Now, looking at the euro, as far as the confidence here, if we go and look at the 0Z model forecast, of course, much further to the northeast. But if we look at yesterday's 0Z forecast, or no, wait, 12Z forecast, that is, it was over here as a strong tropical storm. If we look at today's 12Z forecast, it is a little bit slower further to the east, and it's showing a 90-mile-an-hour category 1 hurricane. So there is a signal. All right. I'm more concerned here about signals over exact intensity, over exact who's going to get impacted. All right. That's what we're broadly focusing on right now. I'm not going to say that, oh, it's going to hit Miami, or it's going to hit Jacksonville, Florida, or it's going to hit Savannah, Georgia, or it's going to hit Wilmington, North Carolina, or Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I'm not speculating right now who exactly is going to get hit by this potential tropical storm or hurricane. What we need to really focus on is signals, and that's what we have right now. This is telling me that we got to watch this. This is a serious concern right now for a potential tropical storm, or if not a hurricane in the southwestern Atlantic in about 10 days. Okay. So that's that. When we look at the GFS model in comparison, you can see there it is right there. The last couple of runs showing a powerful hurricane. When we look at the previous run, again, showing that tropical storm, if not a hurricane. And the 18Z run, again, very similar, although slower here from yesterday's run. My point here is, again, that signal, and we're seeing consistency right now in the last day of model run data that we have. Somewhere here over the Bahamas, the southwestern Atlantic, this includes Florida and the mid-Atlantic coast, definitely needs to be watching this system. Now, when it comes to the environmental forecast with this, the big question is, why is this system going to get strong in the first place? Why are we seeing a lot of bullish outputs here on the Euro, on the GFS, and the artificial intelligence model? And that is because of our vertical wind shear. This is another way of saying, okay, are winds blowing at the system in one direction, tilting the vortex, preventing strengthening, or are we seeing outflow in all quadrants? So let's take a look here at our deep layer vertical wind shear. And we're going to fast forward this all the way into, let's do day 9 right here. For Saturday morning on the 16th of August, this is what we have. Now, of course, when you guys look at this, you're going to see lots of red and thinking, oh, there's a lot of vertical wind shear on this system. What I'm really more interested in is right here. This is where our system actually is. And if you follow these shear vectors, see how there's outflow shear vectors? That means there is no vertical wind shear essentially over the system. And that is what we don't want to see for a system that's going to rapidly intensify, because the shear is going to be very light to perhaps even non-existent. And this is what the Euro is pumping out right now, is shear that is very, very light. Okay. The shear may pick up a little bit here in the 10-day forecast, which is why the Euro has a little bit of a slower amount of development with this system. But as we go forward here, look at the outflow. The shear vectors here expand in all quadrants, indicating that the system looks to breathe very sufficiently to help exhaust all that heat energy that is converging underneath the cyclone. So this is a concerning evolving situation. When we look at the GFS deep layer vertical wind shear forecast, look at the shear on this. There is no shear whatsoever over the cyclone. In fact, if we look at this and take a glance, we're looking at shear less than 5 knots, perhaps less than 2 or 3 knots. And that continues to be the case all the way through the next 10 to 12 days as this moves perhaps into the Bahamas with that light shear. Now, looking at the deep layer moisture plot here, well, not really deep layer because we're looking at just one single layer at 500 millibars, which is 18,000 feet above the surface. And so when we look at this, The brown colors here indicate lots of dry air, but again, one layer only. So don't assume this is in the deep layer. This is at the surface. This is only at 18,000 feet. We have all this moisture here located at that same level surrounding the system. So what ends up happening here is there's not a whole lot of dry air that comes in around this. However, due to some of that deep layer vertical wind shear briefly, we may see a little bit of drier air try to get in the way of things, but that's going to be short-lived here based on the Euro as it tries to wrap in all of that moisture, and it does become very intense here. In fact, if we look at our simulated IR imagery, that is a very intense system going all the way up into the southeast, perhaps in a little over 10 to 12 days. So there is definitely a concerning signal on this. By all means, that a tropical storm or hurricane is looking very possible. Now, the European ensemble forecast is straight up concerning. Not because it's going out to sea, but there are still plenty of members here that bring this very close, well, not really close, but there's a group of members here that show maybe a tropical storm or hurricane over the Bahamas. That's what the GFS has been showing in its trending models. We also have another group of models that take this pretty much to the northwest, and another group here brings this pretty much to the north. So there is a chance that this does become a fish storm, but that doesn't always mean it remains a fish storm. We could see some models that do this and they kind of back in like this, depending on what goes on up here to the north. So there is a decent spread in the ensemble forecast guidance today, but I will tell you, and you can look it up for yourself on weathernerds.org, that this has trended further south, okay? Most of the ensembles yesterday were showing something kind of like this. Some of them have shifted a little bit further south in today's 12Z output, meaning that there is still a significant risk here for the Bahamas to get something pretty substantial. The GEFS ensemble 2, this is a 06Z output. The 12Z did not render all the way through for some reason on the weathernerds.org website, but you can see here there is a cluster of strong signals from the ensemble members showing a tropical storm, if not a hurricane. So what does the National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook have to tell us? Well, it's a little bit surprising here, but I am not going to be surprised by any means if the NHC highlights something out here very soon, perhaps in the next day or two, because of the increasing confidence for tropical formation, more like actually up over here, so to speak, than in the Caribbean. Now, can this actually go into the Caribbean? That, again, we don't know for sure 100% right now, okay? So stay tuned for more updates on that. But in the meantime, the NHC has lower chances with our 96L out here with now a 40% chance instead of a 50% chance that it was showing yesterday, and also our lemon off the mid-Atlantic coast also decreasing in chances to now 10%. So these two areas I am not concerned at all compared to with what is coming off of Africa, which will grab everyone's attention in the next coming weeks. So one last thing that I wanted to clear in today's video is the chances here of tropical development, and this is from the weathernerds.org website, or weathernerds.org, I should say. And what we have here is the chances of a tropical depression to form in the next 9 to 10 days. And what we have here is definitely a pretty good signal with a solid 30 to 45% chance, or a 30 to 40% chance of tropical depression formation. But what about the chances of tropical storm development here in the southwestern Atlantic? We're up to 30% now, with now a 10 to 20% chance of a hurricane to form in this general area. We will see these chances go up as we near the time of this time frame. So make sure you stay up to date here on the channel for that, because as you know, this has a pretty big potential of becoming something really big. All right, so sea surface temperatures. I know this is a little on the narrower side, but sea surface temperatures right now in the in most of the Atlantic are running anywhere between the mid to upper 80s to lower 90s, especially off the coast here of Florida, where water temperatures still in around the Tampa Bay. Some of these shelf waters are still in the low 90s, right around 91 to 94 degrees in Fahrenheit. Man, that is a crap ton of octane fuel for this system to tap into. I'm just telling you, I don't want to fearmonger. I do not want to cause panic here. But if we get this system that does this and kind of goes in this general direction and moves into this thermodynamic environment with these very warm sea surface temperatures, we could see a hurricane that explosively intensifies, something similar to past major hurricanes that we had in the Gulf or in the southwestern Atlantic. So we really need to be watching this area for significant development. But anyways, if you haven't been here before and you did find today's detailed tropical weather outlook and discussion very helpful, very informative, very detailed, and life-saving, please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, folks, as I do upload daily tropical weather updates, including live stream discussions on any tropical storm or any hurricane threat to the United States. Our plan this year is to go live up to 24 to 48 hours before a landfalling tropical storm or hurricane in the United States or in the Caribbean. So again, if you have not subscribed yet to the channel and hit that bell notification icon to get all my daily tropical weather updates, please consider doing so, as well as hitting that like button and leaving a comment in the section below this video. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll be back with you more tomorrow with another detailed tropical weather outlook and discussion.